Item number 4, talked about is the policy of the county and cities been working together on that annexation policy agreement. I still think personally it would probably be a premature agreement from the council, but Councilmember Frank would like to put it on. And maybe Tony would like to give us a brief outline of what we're
Sure.
it is.
So I'm prepared to talk about every line in there if you want. The first 5 slides I will do an explanation here. So really on the annexation policy plan, and the whole reason this is here before us is we were requested by property owners to look at adding their properties to the annexation policy plan. The county had some concerns, so the interlocal meeting, a subcommittee was formed. The subcommittee identified 21 issues in the county's draft that was sent to us. The city has created a response for your review tonight. Future actions would be the subcommittee would review the agreement, interlocal board would probably review it again, the planning commission would hold a public hearing, and the city council would consider adopting or rejecting that. So I guess what I'd like to talk with you about tonight is the general plan and the agreement. I think this agreement that we're talking about is basically taking what should be a very open public document and putting it into a very closed process. A general plan is mandatory. It's something we need to do anyway if we're going to annex or change our annexation policy plan. So it needs updated. The language can be very visionary. It's very open and inclusive. It includes a public hearing. What you end up with is a public document that you adopt through your legislative authority. The enforcement of that is very open, and you end up with a document that has some vision in adopting the ordinances. In contrast with an agreement, it's optional. You don't have to do this. The agreement has been very taxing on Doug Smith's staff as well as mine. It frankly is taking time away from my staff in order that could be used to draft the general plan. It contains legal language as opposed to something that's very visionary. The process is closed to the public. The process is confrontational with the county and the city. And you end up with a document that is just another agreement that is thrown into the file cabinet. It's enforced through closed format through civil matters as opposed to an open dialogue, and it lacks vision for guiding your ordinances. Here's a really quick example of what I did this morning to show you of what you can do with a visionary document. I just took an example of the Twin Creeks area because that's been something that's been a heartburn with the county on the gentleman's agreement that you've heard so much about. So what could you do? Well, you can identify policies. Residential density. This should be 1 unit per acre or less. You can see that we are showing a map here. Water and sewer services should be provided by Twin Creeks Special Service District. Annexation agreement should be used. And streets should be reflective of a rural lifestyle. And you can see I've shown a picture of a rural road and then a picture of a very urban street. Desired land use, you know, on the left I show kind of a rural cottage there and show that we don't want to do the subdivision there. And understand this is just for the Twin Creeks area east of Mill Road. Just examples that I threw together really quickly. I'm not saying those are the exact policies that could be adopted in the general plan, or should, but this is just what could be, as opposed to a 10-page document that says, that is combed over excessively by legalese and has no vision. The 21 points that were brought up by the county illustrate that the city has no business adopting an annexation policy plan with absent more analysis. if you're going to do this, don't do the agreement. I guess what I'm asking is if you were really contemplating changing your annexation policy plan, why don't we do some analysis? Why don't we do some maps? And let's talk about land use. Let's find out what the population is. That's what I would like to see the city put the staff resources. We lack the ordinances for various hillside issues. Those ordinances are adopted after a plan. But what I'm recommending is that you send the 21 issues to the Planning Commission and the plan, and you ask them to address them and come up with a plan that mitigates the issues that the county has brought up. Then we'll have the Planning Commission hold a public hearing, invite the council and the county council and the county Planning Commission and staff to review it and give us comments and see if we have adequately addressed their concerns. If there are any remaining issues that cannot be resolved, you can still always fall back on an agreement. And as a council, you can still say, you know, we don't want to do this anyway. Let's just leave our documents as is. And then, of course, adopt revised ordinances. If that is not appealing to you, I have the 21 issues identified on the next 21 slides, and I am ready to go line by line.
So, Mayor, if I might, I had Councilman Smith call me yesterday, indicating he was not going to be able to attend, but he asked me to make it known that he was opposed to entering into an agreement. He favored the thought of incorporating those issues of concern into the annexation policy plan versus the potential of binding future councils with this type of agreement. So that's his input on this issue.
So he made that decision without the benefit of what we're going to hear tonight, huh?
Based on what information was available in the packet, he reviewed that.
I guess partly why I supported Heidi's interest in having this on is that it appeared that the county had come forth with some ideas that I thought, I guess it's a matter of understanding the history, I thought the county and the city were going to get together and identify those issues that we wanted to put into a plan as to how we did our general plan, how they,
well,
I guess, did. But you're making it sound like maybe that's what happened, is that they brought 21 issues. Did you go to the table with nothing?
So from the Interlocal Committee, what came out of that is that we should develop an agreement between the county and the city that is not a general plan, that is basically a document, an interlocal agreement between the city and the county with these 21 points. And the idea was that we would get together, refine it, go back to the subcommittee, go back to the interlocal, and go back to the council and have you sign this. And I guess what I'm suggesting is I don't feel that that's going to result in a very visionary document. I think it's going to be...
So the whole idea of the agreement is where your concern is, not...
Yeah, I guess, I don't dispute that maybe at the end of the process, maybe we still need to do an agreement. But what I'm saying is, why don't we involve the public and the Planning Commission and get more eyes on this document so that when it comes down to the council making the decision to look at the annexation policy plan, you have enough information to determine if you even want to do this in the first place. We may have the Planning Commission draft an annexation policy plan and general map amendment, and you look at the numbers and some of the visionary documents, and you say, I don't even want to do this. I don't even want to change the plan. Or, by golly, I was opposed to it, and this document changed my mind. If we do the agreement, it's just going to be 10 pages of legalese and words, and what happens if it's the agreement's broken, and who wins in court, and all that kind of stuff. It's not going to be a visionary document. That still may be necessary if we go the way I'm suggesting. And I'm suggesting not to rely solely on that because it is very taxing on our time, and you've indicated as a council that you want more vision in the annexation policy plan and the general plan. I can do that, but I cannot do both.
Okay, so let me, still have the question as to, we met together and we wanted to have some agreement
Right.
on a few things. It seems to have gone deeper and broader than I think we talked about. Not that I'm opposed to it or whatever, but when you went to that joint meeting, it appears only one meeting's been held, right?
The county came back with a list of 21 issues.
Well, you met
Right.
with the county, okay? It was a joint meeting. And they showed up with 21 issues
Right.
that we should consider agreeing with the county. What did you take to that meeting? One issue, 10, 9?
The county brought a draft agreement of these issues.
What did you take to the meeting?
Mark
An open mind.
and an open.
Okay, so I'm just saying, they came with 21 ideas, and we went with the meeting kind of not wanting to do an agreement.
No, absolutely not. We went with an open mind and listened to the concerns that the county had, and we processed them, and I guess I think a better way to do it than an agreement is to do a general plan amendment and specifically address these issues, as well as other issues.
Okay, but still in all, I don't want to, whether you went with it or when you saw these 21 things, you formulated it, you're basically saying we don't want to do an agreement.
No.
And yet, the direction from that meeting was that the committee get together and come up with some things you could agree on. That's what the direction was. It was to do an agreement. And yet you went to the meeting with nothing in mind except you don't want to do an agreement.
No, absolutely not. What I'm suggesting is the city needs a general plan amendment desperately. You asked for it. This agreement is, I should follow the amendment to the general plan. These are issues that should be in our general plan that are not. And what I'm suggesting is we do that document, a general plan amendment, we give it to the county and we say, look, here's how we would like to address these issues. Do you have any other concerns, or have we incorrectly addressed the issues?
Well, I mean, there's things even, I think, that we may want from the county, but you didn't take any of that to them. I'm just saying, I thought we were talking about, do we develop east of Mill Road? Are we going to go out and gobble up everything north or not? Are we going to come into the city with the same density so that there isn't a motivation from a developer to come in and get more density? Those are 5 or 6 things we discussed that I think need to be determined before we decide our general plan. Because our general plan may or may not go east of Mill Road. What are we going to agree with the city before we do that?
But all of those things, like he's saying, would be part of a general plan that goes through a public process, that would be part of an annexation policy plan. That the county sent us that letter to the planning commission and said, you need to outline all these things from the code, from section 10. All those things would be part of these public documents. And I think what Tony's saying is let's put our effort into those documents that we have to do anyway. And I agree with that. I think that's where we need to put our energy.
So, if I might, when we met Alan and Tony and I with Mike Davis, Mike Pearson, Kendall Crittenden, and Doug Smith, they had brought together a draft agreement. And we reviewed that, we gave them comments back on it, and then Tony and I talked some more, and I guess we kind of didn't feel so good about the tone of the agreement. We don't necessarily disagree on a lot of the points that are things that should be maintained and that we've addressed, that we've talked about. And so to that extent, Tony primarily drafted a city version of that, which I solicited some input or feedback from the council on, which not much was forthcoming on either agreement. I understand that that's probably not the best way to get good feedback from the council on an individual basis. But
that's why I said we're putting it on the agenda to ask these very same questions and have an open discussion of all the pros and cons and look this over and see what the city's motivation are, what the county's motivation is, and we're still trying to find that agreement. And Tony, I'm sorry, I really appreciate you coming and putting this together on, you know, the Tuesday morning when I knew that you had said you wouldn't be able to come tonight. So thank you for putting this together. Thank you for presenting this viewpoint. You know, I'm really interested in seeing all of the viewpoints and still coming to what's best for the city and the county when it comes to annexation. So thank you.
So to continue, the more Tony and I discussed it, we think that those issues can be addressed as part of the master the annexation policy plan document. The county still has the opportunity to give feedback to that. I think there's some reluctance to bind the city to some of those terms, knowing that as a development occurs, more information is gathered, and sometimes anticipated solutions change. And the thought of binding future city councils to this agreement is concerning. And a lot of it was the city agrees to do this, the city agrees to do that, the city agrees to do this, but there wasn't a whole lot of the county agrees to, to do much. And I know we want to be respectful of the county's concerns and we ought to address it, but I don't know that the agreement's the best way to do that. I think we can get pretty close with showing good faith in putting some of those same concepts into annexation policy.
Mr. Farrell had a comment. Did you come up, please address that?
I think you're missing the point. You need to come to light, Steve, just so we can be on our recording.
I think you're missing, Steve Farrell, Wasatch County Council. I think you're missing the point of what this committee was supposed to do. I thought this committee was to come back, to look at the problems and concerns, and come back with a recommendation to both bodies on how we can resolve this. If it's put in your annexation policy, then maybe the county can agree with that. But the county took the first draft effort because to get your things moving, to put them 21 points out in a letter to the committee, expecting the city to come back and have a discussion on what their concern about each of them was and how we could resolve it without, and then work that through and put it in your annexation plan or whatever. But now you're saying you just don't want to do anything, but put it in your annexation plan.
No. I don't think that's what we're saying. No. I don't think that's what we're saying at all, Steve. I think...
That's how I took it.
Oh, no. What I'm proposing is that we...
Put it in your annexation plan, I mean, for the discussion.
Absolutely not.
And say, well, that's what I'm doing.
No, the idea was that we would have the planning commission take these points, address them, and then we'll give them to the county to review. And you can, instead of in an agreement form, it would come in the form of a general plan and annexation policy plan. You guys can go through it and you can say, gosh, city, you didn't really address the concern of density with our service districts adequately. Can you put this in there? And then what we would do is we'd go to the public hearing with the planning commission, and then the city council would adopt it. If there are any issues in that process that cannot be addressed in the plan, then we would address those in an agreement.
But you clearly said, Tony, we don't want to have an agreement.
Not necessarily.
No, he said there may be an agreement after we went through the other process. He still said that there may need to be an agreement, but he felt like if we could do it in this process, he wouldn't have to be doing two processes at the same time.
I don't think it's fair to...
If you went back to the committee with your concerns on the 21 points.
No, because he didn't get feedback from us as a council.
Well, the reason that we're here is we sent out the agreement to the council and said, look, we need to go back to the subcommittee, but we want to make sure that we're at least somewhere in the ballpark of where you want to be as a council. Our council said, no, we don't want to comment on it, bring it to the meeting tonight. And so...
well, it's the only place we can appropriately comment on it. We have an open process. This isn't I've talked to Jeff Smith that can't be here, and he believes this. This is an open process where we hear and comment in a city meeting, not in a private conversation with one or two or three of the council.
I totally agree with you, and that's why I'm advocating that we use the
That's called staff advocacy rather than council discussion.
And that's why I advocate using the planning process. Go to the planning commission, have them put another set of eyes on the document.